guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a sweat-proof makeup tutorial. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple tricks and then also just sharing with you guys products that I think tend to be a little bit more humid and sweat friendly. I think it's important to be realistic, like not all makeup is going to withstand humid weather and a sweaty face, but these are products that I think will last longer and for the most part are sweat-proof, as sweat-proof can be. So if you're interested, please be sure to keep watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and then also make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
I like to start off with any type of hydrating primer all over my entire face. I'm using the Vincent Longo Water Canvas base, but I like to switch this out depending on my mood. So just use whatever primer you feel works the best for you. Now I'm taking the Becca Ever Matte Poreless Perfector, and I think that this is the key primer. I like to concentrate this on my nose and on my T-zone. I think if you have really oily skin, this is a complete game changer, and I just noticed such a huge difference in my skin when I use this, and I think it's the key product in getting your base to last as long as possible. Now I'm taking Hourglass's Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Warm Beige. Now if you can get away without wearing foundation, I would highly suggest just skipping on it altogether, but for the sake of the tutorial, I did want to share something with you guys that I think is really great and doesn't feel cakey or heavy on the skin, even when you build up a little bit more, but it's also quite remarkable because you can get such full flawless coverage with a little bit of product. So I just applied this where I felt I needed it and then just blended it out with a little duo fiber brush.
So now that I've got my base prepped, I just want you guys to know that I sometimes switch up my hydrating primer. Sometimes I like the one from Smashbox. Sometimes I like the Glossier Priming Moisturizer, the Vincent Longo one. It doesn't really matter as long as you find a hydrating primer that you really like. I think that the key primer for the base is really the Becca Ever Matte Priming Poreless Perfector. This stuff is so amazing and it really makes your makeup last so much longer, so I would highly recommend this. And then in terms of foundation, whatever you're comfortable with, something that's lightweight, gives you ideal coverage for yourself. So lately I've just been liking the one by Hourglass. Next, what I think is really important is priming your eyelids, especially if you have oily eyelids like myself. So recently I have really been liking the Bare Minerals Well Rested CC Eye Primer. And what I do to make my eyeshadow last longer is I go in with one more layer. So wait for the first layer to dry and then go in with just one more layer. And this really keeps your eyeshadow in place all day, even if you're sweating. Now I'm going to take the shade Puree from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And I'm just going to apply this all over my eyelid. Take a blending brush and just kind of blend that out a little bit. And then if you want to add a little bit of shimmer, you can. So I'm going to take that shade Luscious and just lightly pat that on the center of my eyelids, just for a little bit of shine. For an under eye concealer that really stays put, I've been loving the Laura Mercier Secret Under Eye Concealer. I wear the shade 3.7. And I'm just going to apply this under my eyes using my ring finger. Just really taking my time to press and work it into the skin. And then be sure to just conceal any other little spots. I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation around my mouth from a previous breakout. And to set my face today, I'm going to be using the Cover FX Translucent Deep Setting Powder. I just take a little bit, it has a tab, and you just lift up the top. And I'm just going to use a fluffy brush like this. It's from Sonia Kashuk. I'm going to set the center of my face. If your whole entire face gets really oily, then set your whole face, but because I really only have to deal with oil around my T-zone, that's the area I'm going to focus my translucent powder in, as well as the under eyes because I want to prevent concealer creasing. So I'm just going to kind of set under my eyes as well. To fill in the brows, we're going to go in with a classic. This is Anastasia Dip Brow. This stuff is industrial strength and your brows will not move anywhere. So I use the shade Dark Brown. And I'm just going to fill my brows in with a little angled brush. I'm actually going to take a little eyeliner brush and some more dip brow, and I'm just going to kind of put this on top of all my freckles and moles just to make the skin look a lot more natural. And I'm also going to add in a couple faux freckles. I've just really been liking that look, especially during the summertime. So what I just kind of do is first I go find all my own real freckles, and that's what I fill in first. And then after that, I'll just kind of go in and pick some random places to throw on some freckles. This is one of my biggest tricks to get my brows to last all day long. They never fade, they stay in place all day long. It's better than any brow gel I've ever used. It is just using regular extra hold hairspray. I've really been liking L'Oreal Elnet lately, but any extra hold hairspray will do. I think even Aquanet would be really great. Use what you have, but this is better than any brow gel. So I just take a little spoolie, directly spray the hairspray onto the spoolie, and then just brush it through your brows and set your brows with the hairspray. Now, I do really love brow gels, but during the summertime, they just don't usually hold up for me. I find that my forehead tends to sweat a lot, especially in my T-zone, and that's, you know, where the front of my brows are. So I find that they do fade a lot faster in the summer, but ever since I started using hairspray on them, they stay put all day, even through sweat. So for blush today, I'm going to be using the gorgeous Milk Chocolate Cream Blush from Bobbi Brown. And I'm actually just going to be using the same brush that I used for my foundation to apply the blush. It just makes it go on a little bit more sheer, a little bit more natural as well. I always knock off the excess blush on the back of my hand just to kind of get the product moving, a little bit more evenly dispersed throughout the bristles as well. And I will just lightly tap this onto the cheeks. I tend to kind of skip contouring when it's hotter out just because I find that it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to go in with some bronzer. This is Endless Summer. No, this is Sunshine in a Compact by IT Cosmetics. For some reason I thought it was Endless Summer. And I just picked this up on this EcoTools brush. And I'm just going to apply the bronzer kind of, you know, towards the perimeter of my face and along my jawline as well. And to highlight the skin, I've really been loving Marc Jacobs Do You Coconut Gel Highlighter. Now, I really like this because it's ultra pigmented and you only need a little bit to get really gorgeous high pigmentation. So I'm just gonna take a little drop like that, and that's gonna be more than enough to highlight the skin. So I just pick it up on my fingertips and apply it to the high points of my face. Just really pressing and working it in. I'm going to use it to highlight my brow bone, inner corner of the eyes. I also think a great waterproof mascara is your best bet when it's hot outside, so I'm going to be using Maybelline Lash Sensational. Now, the reason I'm skipping out on eyeliner is just because I find for myself personally, most of the time when I wear liquid eyeliner or just any type of black eyeliner, it always seems to sweat around, even when I use my more expensive, you know, long-lasting liquid liners. So if I'm trying to get my makeup to last all day, I usually won't wear liquid eyeliner when it's hot outside because I almost always sweat it off. If you have a liquid eyeliner that you're comfortable with wearing, then you could definitely throw some on. But this is just for those of you who really want a look that will last you as long as possible without having to do as many touch-ups. I'm going to use a little bit of lip liner. This is Bobbi by Bobbi Brown. And I personally feel like your best bet for a long wearing lip color is actually not going to be a liquid lipstick, because depending on what you eat, what you drink, they can tend to fade off the lips a little bit ungracefully. They can pill up, they get chalky and patchy and just plain weird. So I think your best bet is going to be a lip tint. I'm going to be using the Beach Tint from Pixi. Now these are like double-sided, so one side is a tint and then one side is a gloss. I'm going to be using the tint right here, which is in the shade Beach. And you can use the gloss on the other side, but I really want to use Sugar Sugar from Marc Jacobs. And the last step that I think is absolutely mandatory is using a setting spray. I notice a huge difference in my makeup when I'm not using a setting spray in terms of staying power, so I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible setting spray. and then just give it a few moments to dry. Alright guys, so that's it for this sweat-proof makeup tutorial. Of course, you can always feel free to kind of customize the look to fit your own. If you do want to wear liquid eyeliner, then of course you can, and if you want to put a little bit more product on your skin, of course you can. I'm just trying to share with you like good products that aren't going to sweat off. I think it's really the key to use a lot of cream and liquid products just because they tend to last a little bit longer than a lot of powders will on the skin. Powder will tend to absorb oil and kind of break apart and almost look patchy on the skin, whereas a liquid is a little bit more of an even fade when you're sweating. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, you know you can always hit me up in the comments down below and I will of course get back to you. And also don't forget to come follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm gonna have all three in the description box down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye guys!